So evidently they still haven't had court all morning. Imagine that. Good morning, y'all. It's good to see you. Hey, Fawny and Sandy. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to look up and see if they've said anything about, with their mods or whatever, about why court hasn't started. Currently waiting on the judge to take the bench. Both defense and prosecution are at their tables. So we're waiting on the judge, as usual. I swear to God, this judge is something else. Good morning, the classic one and Southern Cats. It's good to see y'all. When was that said? Hold on. I don't know. What their moderator said for Law and Crime, who's at the courthouse. Hey, Michael Green Chili. Is that currently waiting on the judge to take the bench. Both defense and prosecution are at their tables. So everybody's waiting on the judge again, as usual. She must be. At this point, we need to show some Depends commercials because something's got to give. I really am debating on calling up there and being like, yo, what the hell's going on with this judge here? Yes. Hey, Andy. Good to see you. I hope somebody does get that woman some Depends. Good Lord. In the morning. It's good to see you all. Basil is here this morning chewing on some papers. I gotta track something real quick. 10. Okay. Okay. Fawny, good to see you, love. I wonder how y'all pronounce it. I would like to hear that. Let me see. How does the UK pronounce basil? I bet it's not going to do it where I can hear it.
The first syllable in both, but in British English we would have an a, basil. In American English, a, basil.
Basil?
Sabari wanted to know.
Basil. Basil is how you say it. Hey, Ashley. What are you? Are you okay? He just jumped up and sideways. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Jenny Jen. We're waiting on the judge. They said that the defense and prosecution are both at their tables waiting on the judge to get at the bench. Good morning, one sunny day. Perhaps the defendant has been fixing his gray, mushy oatmeal breakfast. Maybe. Faulty towers? Good morning, Anders. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, she knows she has court every morning. Daggum, you're supposed to be there at 9 or something, and we're already not even starting till 10. Don't we all wish we could start go for about 20 minutes and then take another break, is what their moderator said. She'll break again after like 15 minutes. Hey, Lala. Hey, Loudmouth. Thank you for leaving your DNA on the like button. That really helps out so very much. Official, yes, he was smoked PCP and he removed her brain from her skull. And she was found in a bathtub, beaten to death with her brain removed. And their 1-year-old daughter, Vanessa's body is still missing. Hey, Hannah. It's good to see you, Official. Basil, baby, I love you, but I can't sit here and pet you all day. You're not late. You got here. I just started 5 minutes ago. We're waiting on the daggum judge again. All right, baby, go sit down. I don't have any treats today. I need to go get some from the store. Happy Tuesday. Comedy series with John Cleese. Hysterical, funny. I'll have to check into that. Lord. I don't know what to talk about. They're still waiting on court to start. People are upset though, even in the and good morning, Genevieve. Even in their comment section, they're like, this is BS. It's a waste of everybody's freaking time. Bonnie said, the reasons the cops are tight-lipped about Jen Soto's involvement, because it has to do with Jen having not just mental health issues, but actual cognitive delays. Maybe. I believe it. I read John Cleese's autobiography, and it was eye-opening. And that's covered by HIPAA, so no one in authority is breaching that info. Right. Judges stuck in the loo. Yep. They're waiting on her to come to court. His defense is ridiculous. Yeah. They're always fighting. Between the defense and the judge, we can't ever get anything done around here. I hope it didn't bother you. I copied you and gave myself a LV-inspired name. Oh. So that's where the green chili chicken came from. I was wondering. It's alive. Hey, Teresa. Well, I appreciate you listening, my love. I do have some new FOIA information about the case out of New Mexico. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a case out of New Mexico that we've talked about briefly. I've got some more information on that. I'm waiting for my computer, I can't put a disk in my computer. So I got this thing that hooks to my computer that is like it reads CDs and DVDs, and I'm hoping to be able to transfer it from that to my computer or to my phone, one of the two, and be able to basically put that stuff into videos. And I've got something else going on too, but I got a couple of FOIA information things going on right now that I'm just waiting on. So we shall have some more exciting things going on very soon. Lori Daybell went in on her brother Adam about her green chili chicken enchiladas that everyone begged her to make. Kobe said no one asked her to make it. Hey, Cara, good to see you. That's interesting. Yes, and drink problems. Basil needs some crackers, and I didn't get him any when I went to the store this morning. I completely forgot. I got his cilantro and his parsley, but I didn't grab crackers, and he likes to sit back here with me and eat crackers. Sitting on the pillow right now, looking out the window. Bonnie said Jen Soto told us she has mental health. She might not even know she was ever diagnosed. Her parents might not have told her or downplayed it, but Meek feels she is mentally disabled. Yeah. I think it's very possible. Basil needs some carrots. He don't even like carrots. We had doctor's appointments all day yesterday, but Mom is recovering. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Hey, Paramandy, good to see you. Your bunny is molting all over the place. He does a little bit, but my friend that has rabbits said to take a lint roller and like rub it over him, and that gets a lot of it off. I'm glad she's recovering. Yes, everybody's glad that she is recovering and she feels better, and that's good. Let me look at the chat over here and see if there's any updates. Like, I don't know. It seems like if you were a judge and the trial was televised, you would make sure to be there on time. You would be prompt. You wouldn't be taking so many damn breaks all the time. Like the jury's going to get upset. You're on television, ma'am. Like, what the Sam hell? You're over an hour late. Court was supposed to start at 9:30, actually, and it's 10:40. Like, are we just not gonna come to court? Hannah. Cara said it wasn't all of that. Oh, really? Jen Soto, because it's one thing to know you are developmentally delayed. It's another to be so delayed that you have analgesia. An hour late. Yeah, she's an hour late. Which also factors into why her dad bought her a house. She's not able to take care of herself. Interesting. I mean, I could definitely see it. Absolutely, Fawny. All right, baby, go chill. If I was a juror, I'd be pissed because I'm missing days of work for the judge constantly being late. Exactly. I think a lot of people are feeling like that. Like, ma'am. She's pesting the life of the jurors. Yeah. It means you don't know that you're crazy or mentally delayed. I believe it. Kobe said they were so-so. The enchiladas. I make good green chili enchiladas, from what I've been told, but hell, they could be so-so. I mean, I guess if you ask my family in a court of law, they'd be like, well, they weren't the best, but they weren't the worst. It's his reaction video. That was pretty interesting. I didn't see that yet. Maybe we should look at that. Jury duty. We don't get paid for missed work. Really? Oh, hell no. I'd be hotter than the damn tomato on the 4th of July. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it is total disrespect of the juror's time. It's unbelievable. She's so nice and tries to explain to the jury, this is why this and this is why. She seems like a really nice person, but like, damn. I have to be in court at 9:30 in the morning if I have court. Like, that's when I've got to be there. So why aren't you there? There's no information on why you're so late. It's been a hell of a month in West Tennessee. A girl, I know, I've heard, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Jen of Eve. I hope that everything can start to heal back. When the hurricanes hit Western North Carolina, we did a fundraiser to send money to them, and I still keep trying to call this daggum school, like, for Maddie's. Nessa said drug addicts are mentally stuck at the developmental age they started taking drugs. Yes, they are. I started when I was 13, and sometimes I feel like I am still 13. Like, I don't know. It's weird because I've heard that, and it kind of makes sense because I don't know. I'm mature and I'm not stupid, but it's like, yeah, your brain stops developing. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, I get it for real. Like, I really get it. I'm sure that I need to take my Prevagen because my brain's not working correctly this morning either. I think Judge Gold was good in that remark, at least. Yeah, she was. She was better than this. I mean, even though she was crooked as shit. My boss will pay us for it, but the courts don't have to pay depending on the state. Oh, really? I'd have to see if this state pays. Not always. Jurors better start to complain about her being late. It's happening too much. It really is. Hey, Mandy Lorian. Good to see you. Yeah, you never have extreme weather there? Well, you got a lot of snow there, though, right? Like all the time? Is it snow all the time? I started at like 13, and I remember everything starting there. Yeah. Let me find my Prevagen so my brain will work like it's supposed to. Lord, this mess. Baby doll, I love you, but I'm not going to sit here and pet you all day. Baby. Lord have mercy. Well, I guess I won't take it because I can't find it. Had to find it when she comes to court. Hey, cutie. So we develop and mature. Some of us do, especially when getting sober. Yeah. I have matured a lot over the past 10 or so years. And I'm better than I used to be. I don't get why it costs so much here. No weather, and the fires are like earthquakes, just par for the course. That's awful. I'm on the west coast of Florida, and last year it was such luck that my house lasted through Debbie, Helene, and Milton. We barely made it through N. Oh my goodness. Snow a winters apart from that's the worst thing I've heard of is a landslide. Oh, really? Oh, I've been loving him so much that actually my hand was cramping from petting him. He wants snacks, and I have to go get him some crackers when we break for lunch. If we don't break now, I mean, Jesus, lady. He wants the snacks. He wants some snacks. Trying to see what I got. Here, baby. Is that what you want? Oh, goodness. Come here and let me hold you. Got some in your eye. That baby. That baby. So silly. Y'all, I'm just getting irritated by the second. I got to clean up. I have to keep snacks on deck for Mr. Waffles. Yeah, I need to. I should have got some at the store. His eyes are watering a little bit. Milton was the worst part. I think I got to go get him some terramycin because his eyes are watering a little bit. Cara said Milton was the worst. I think it gave me a case of PTSD. My area is evacuation zone C, and it was the first time my zone was ever evacuated. My parents, who were staying with, were getting 10 feet. Oh, goodness. Flood warnings. Oh, my goodness. Lord, they're talking about how this is so unprofessional and all of that. You have seeded parsley this year? We got some parsley that grows here. Jen said, I'm wondering if the reason for all of the breaks is to keep him from actually knowing about evidence against him and the child so they can stay focused on the murder charge. It's definitely possible. Okay. They're saying this is the total opposite of swift justice. All these delays are ridiculous and disrespectful of the juror's time. So we're not the only one. It is actually two separate cases. Damn, what is her name? All right, so it is. What is it? State of Ansonia, Connecticut jury court. What? See, I need my Prevagen. Okay. Court for the state of Connecticut, city of Ansonia. Ansonia Court, Connecticut phone number.
You can contact Ansonia.
I'm about to call them and ask if the damn judge is going to be there. A moderator said the attorneys are in the judge chambers. Okay, I didn't see that. Because they were saying that they were in the courtroom ready to go to court. Let me look. Both parties are out of chambers and back in the courtroom. Okay. I was about to call, so we should be starting then. I don't think the plea is still an option. Y'all, I was really about to call. People are in there typing in all caps. What the fuck is going on? It's like a SpongeBob episode, said somebody. Med Gas Guy, thank you for being here. No, the mother's okay. So Christine Holloway was beaten to death by Jose Morales when he smoked PCP the weekend of Thanksgiving 2019. She was beaten to death and her brain was removed. She was found in a bathtub with her brain removed. The baby, 1-year-old Vanessa, is missing and is still missing to this day. A lot of the baby stuff was donated. You know, the donation bins that are like in the parking lot. There was one by a church, and a lot of the baby stuff was donated, and it was all covered in blood, like a ridiculous amount of blood. Like he was higher than bird twat when he died, when he donated that stuff. But all of it is Christine's blood. It's not the baby's blood. They did find a diaper bag with one pink crock in it that belonged to the baby, and the other pink crock was in the donation bin. There was a little bit of blood on the pink crock, but as far as I know, all of the blood belonged to Christine, the mother. Somebody got upset about me saying with brain removed on the thumbnail. I mean, I don't know. I get it. I mean, I get the being upset about it. I don't think I worded it in a way to cause any disrespect to the family or Christine or her memory. Like I'm putting it all on Jose. I don't know. I'm kind of at odds with that because maybe I shouldn't have put it on there. Like, I don't know. Kind of trying to figure out. You're welcome. Yeah, he smoked PCP and removed her brain. It's really fucked up. Anders said, I can't understand why people want to take PCP. I've heard of people who have started to eat from themselves. Yeah, that's like the bath salts kind of thing. Yeah, donate. No, it was like a blood covered diaper pail, boppy seat, clothes. There was clothes, baby clothes. It's crazy. People are trolls. There's way worse on YouTube. Don't even worry. She was being petty. I think so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't, if the family saw it and was like, why would you put this here? I would definitely be like, I'm so sorry. I meant no disrespect, and I would change it. But I don't think the family's going to be watching my little channel over here. And even if they do, I don't think that they want to be watching this trial. They're probably in the courtroom if they want to watch it. Yeah, I know. I don't like to upset people, but I'm also really against clickbait too. Like, it's definitely not clickbait. Yes, it's something that'll make you click on it, but it's not a lie either. That's the truth. Like, I'm very much against lying to get people to click or making things seem more than they are. I mean, that is the truth. Basil was standing up on his hind legs. I was laughing at him. If they're that sensitive, there's a problem. Don't let these fools gaslight your content and intentions. Well, thank you. Y'all are so sweet. Good morning, Lisa Lynn. Good morning. Good morning. So evidently they did go into judges' chambers. Now they're supposedly out, but what are we waiting for? I'm going to see if they said anything. Both parties are out of chambers and back in the courtroom is the last thing that was said. Oh, but did you die? Good morning from Denmark. Good afternoon from Denmark. I'm not a yellow journalist. What is a yellow journalist? Fawny, my love. Somebody said Jose looks like he's from the Mucinex commercial. Yeah, I like your name too. Okay, but did you die? I like that. Is there any evidence to say the baby was unalived? With me working, I don't always have a chance to catch everything. Not so far. The only thing that's suspicious is that everything needed for the baby was in the diaper bag that they found at the house, from what the officer that testified just now or yesterday said. He said everything that you would need for the baby was in the diaper bag with the crock. But they still haven't found the baby. Oh, I'm so glad you decided to grace us with your motherfucking presence. Isn't that nice of you? Stop, baby. Good gracious. My best friend always said your handle whenever she drove. That's so sweet. You're Scandinavian. I think I'm distant Scandinavian. I know that I have some Celtic in my bloodline. Mucinex guy is bigger. He's lost a lot of weight since he's been in jail. He is the Mucinex guy. Oh yes, thank you, Jenny Jen. I forgot that. I appreciate it.
Basically, regarding
A neighbor
jury
putting the
note,
baby inside the car, but is unsure baby Vanessa
regarding
is.
juror compensation and how that all works. I did have an opportunity to share this note with counsel, and it's my understanding, counsel, that we've agreed to address it briefly with the jury and basically refer the jury to jury administration and allow the court clerk to hand them a 2-page document that provides additional information that you had an opportunity to review, both of which, and when I say both, the note and that information will be marked as court exhibits. Counsel, do you wish to be heard on that?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, that's our agreement.
All right, thank you. So I will take care of that when the jury comes out. The second issue that the court would like to address on the record, it has been brought to the court's attention that the state proposed a video, and that with respect to that exhibit, the defendant wanted to place an objection on the record outside of the presence of the jury. So instead of doing that after we call the jury in, I think that's something perhaps we can discuss on the record. Court will note that the court did have an opportunity to meet with counsel on a few occasions to discuss this proposed video off the record. And at this point in time, I just want to confirm for the record that in the court's presence outside of the record, counsel did have an opportunity to view the latest version of a redacted copy of an exhibit that the state wishes to offer. So at this point, I would please ask the state to mark it as an ID so that we can address it as such for the context of this argument. And what has that video been marked, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. States 179 for identification.
All right, so 179 for ID. Attorney Gavin, have you had an opportunity to review that particular exhibit?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, and what is your position relative to that exhibit?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, just preliminarily, I object to the introduction of the video of Tuesday, December 3rd at 105 First Avenue, which has now been marked as Exhibit 179 for identification purposes. The reasons for the objection are multiple, Your Honor. Number one, this video is replete with hearsay. The offer here is in regard to the reaction of my client's parents when they were advised by the Ansonia Police Department that Christine Holloway was deceased. And obviously it was an emotional time. And the questioning is directed towards the parents, not towards Mr. Morales. And that is extremely, extremely sensitive information. What the police were trying to do was to elicit questions from the parents to Mr. Morales and his responses. It's almost like the parents have become agents of the state at that point. Number three, this video is totally unnecessary. Lieutenant Frolish is on the stand. He previously testified. He's here today. He was in the room. He can testify in regard to his observations. Number four, the introduction causes permanent prejudice to the defendant that couldn't possibly be remedied by a curative instruction. Number five, Your Honor, this is not consciousness of guilt evidence, such as fleeing the scene or destroying evidence. It's number six, it's being offered to show the reaction by the parents that are not relevant. So I respectfully suggest, even though we've spent a tremendous amount of time editing the state's proffer, that it should not be introduced, and it is outside the boundaries of our applicable rules of evidence, as well as prejudicial to my client. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Attorney Stein?
Yes, Your Honor, and I would respectfully disagree. We are in 2025. Police officers are equipped with body camera pursuant to law. But these body cameras are running when they are engaged in public interactions. Mr. Morales was returned to his home as the court heard the testimony. At that time, the Morales family collectively was told about the death of Christine Holloway, and
They're trying to get it thrown. They're trying to get the body cam footage from where they talked to his parents and talked to him at the same time thrown out of court.
body camera captures the
Hey, Julie.
interaction over a period of time as the people who are gathered are processing this information. During that time, the state now put forward an original DVD that was about 4 times longer than ultimately the exhibit that is going to be coming forward due to the various edits that were made to it. The statements made by individuals, whether they are police officers or whether they are family members of the accused, Mr. Morales is present during all of these interactions. He is clearly hearing what is occurring in the room that he is a part of this conversation. To that extent, his reactions to what are occurring is clearly information that is relevant to the jury's determination of any of the issues that they need to deal with in this particular case. While some people become emotional, Mr. Morales remains flat and completely unaffected by the news that he is receiving, and provides clear, inconsistent statements to questions that are being asked by various speakers. These inconsistent statements, the things that he has already given to the police in an earlier recorded statement, they are statements of the accused, which is admissible under our laws. Some of the interactions would clearly be outside the scope of any hearsay concerns as a result of excited utterances. They are admissible as well as they're under a theories of consciousness of guilt of the defendant continuing to tell lies and changing his story actually mid frame in some of these video clips where he seems to be making it up as he goes. And that is all fair fodder for the jury to consider. And ultimately, to the extent of any other concerns, these statements of other non-speakers are not being offered for the truth, just to show the effect on the hearer, that is Mr. Morales, and his appropriate or lack of appropriate responses, because it's not just statements, but the jury can consider omissions as a result of anything that may otherwise require a logical response. So the state would claim it all.
If I may just briefly respond,
Of course.
Your Honor. So what the state just indicated to the court is that they're attempting to go ahead and introduce evidence to influence this jury on Mr. Morales's reaction or non-reaction when the news was given that Ms. Holloway was deceased. And obviously, he's got a state and federal constitutional right to go ahead and not respond to anything. And so what the state is attempting to do now is to violate his rights by his ability to go ahead and not respond to the questioning and then comment on his lack of response, which is completely inappropriate. Absolutely textbook inappropriate. Thank you.
Well, only if this were a custodial interrogation, Your Honor. The fact is that Attorney Gavin trying to create a record that somehow this is a custodial interrogation, which would implicate Miranda concerns where the defendant would be advised of his right to remain silent and that his rights to otherwise have counsel, that only occurs legally in the text of a custodial interrogation. He is in the living room of his own home. In fact, this jury is going to see some of these proposed clips where the officers invite Mr. Morales. If he doesn't want to be a part of the conversation, they invite him to leave. The officer raises his hand and says, if you don't want to be here, leave, and he chooses to remain. So clearly, if we can get past the hyperbole of making such a claim like that, it is not otherwise required constitutionally, and therefore it is a non-issue.
Your Fifth Amendment right is not limited to an interrogation right. And comment in regard to a defendant's silence and how that is interpreted is inappropriate, and I object to the introduction of anything like that, because what the state is attempting to do is to bootstrap the reaction of the parents on learning of Christine's passing and then comment in regard to Mr. Morales's reaction, or lack of reaction, more importantly, which is inappropriate. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, counsel. So for the record, the court has had an opportunity to review the proposed exhibit with counsel in chambers as noted earlier. The proposed exhibit is a shortened, redacted version of an entire body cam footage of a particular date and time. The court finds that the material contained in the video is relevant in that it refers to information that has a reasonable tendency to prove or disprove facts that are at issue in this case. More specifically, the adequacy of the investigation, intent, consciousness of guilt, the defendant's whereabouts at the time of Christine Holloway's death, defendant's knowledge of Christine Holloway's ownership of various vehicles,
Exactly.
inconsistent prior statements, the defendant's state of mind, and the defendant's use of his son Isaac's iPad during the period of time which is in question here in the course of the investigation, the data and use of such iPad having already been introduced into evidence by prior testimony. Regarding hearsay, the court finds that the statements argued fall within hearsay exceptions. And in fact, some of the statements are not hearsay because they're not being offered for the truth of the matter. The hearsay exceptions include excited utterance and then existing mental, emotional, physical condition as applicable to the mom and the mom's reaction. Additionally, the state does not offer the statements for the truth of the matters asserted, but rather for the effect on the listener, more specifically Jose Morales, and the defendant's response to hearing these statements that are present in this video. Additionally, these statements put Jose Morales's responses and conduct into proper context. So there are limiting instructions which will be provided to the jury relevant to the consideration of those statements that you classify as hearsay, Attorney Gavin. The court has weighed and balanced the probative value against its prejudicial effect, taking into account many factors, including but not limited to the state's burden to prove intent in this case, as well as the emotional effect of a portion of the video. Keeping in mind that this is a murder trial, the evidence introduced is likely to be at times gruesome and sensitive. Mr. Morales is present throughout the entire video. His reactions are able to be assessed by viewing the video, and comments that he makes are able to be heard. Mr. Morales is not in custodial interrogation during the course of this particular video. In fact, there is an officer who indicates to Mr. Morales that he is free to leave. The court has weighed the best evidence rule as applied to this particular piece of evidence as previously proposed by the state against alternative means, including the testimony of Officer Frolish. With respect to other portions of the original video, I believe that applies. Those portions have been redacted. For the portions that remain in this redacted proffer, the court agrees with the state that short clips of the video are more probative as opposed to their prejudicial effect. The court also notes, as always, that the jury will be instructed as to the limited nature of the hearsay relevant to the effect on the listener. I have a proposed charge. The jury will also be instructed on redactions. And lastly, as always, the court in its final charge to the jury will instruct the jury that sympathy is not to be considered in their deliberations. So the court will go ahead and accept the proposed exhibit into evidence as a full exhibit.
Thank you.
I do intend to provide to the jury a limiting instruction prior to the introduction of the video. I also intend to provide the jury a limiting instruction with respect to redactions prior to the introduction of the video. Counsel, is there anything further?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So at this point in time, I would ask
Teresa.
Madam Clerk to please call our jury in.
There he is today. I think they should have got in touch with the PCP dealer about the baby too. If they didn't.
Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I would ask counsel to please stipulate to the return of all of our jurors here today.
Yes, Your Honor.
stipulate to the presence of the jury, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, before we begin, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I first want to thank you for your patience with us this morning. I do know for your purposes, we did get off to a late start here today. I can inform you that was for administrative reasons, and you're not to hold that against either side. Additionally, I wanted to just let the jury know that I did receive an inquiry regarding juror compensation and how that works and when that takes place. And as a result of that inquiry, I will inform you that Madam
really?
Clerk is going to be providing you a 2-page handout that discusses how to go about contacting jury administration if the information in that 2-page document does not satisfy your inquiry. And that will be handed to you at your next break, okay? So I do appreciate your adherence to the rules and continuing to provide all questions to the court by way of note. The court appreciates your listening and paying attention and adhering to the court's instructions. So we can keep everything orderly and make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on. Aside from that, we are ready to call, I believe, Officer Frolish back to the stand here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, you will remember that yesterday we did have Officer Frolish
Nobody
on the
knows if
stand
the baby's alive or
on
not,
behalf of the state for
as
direct
far as we know.
examination. The court did interrupt that testimony for the testimony of another witness, and at this time, we are ready to resume with the testimony of Officer Frolish. So I would ask the state to please recall Officer Frolish to the stand.
I I don't know if it was muted or not, but
I'm sorry, Lieutenant James Frolish.
Thank you.
nobody knows if the baby's alive or
If you
dead. I
please
think
take
they
the stand.
think
Good
she's
morning.
deceased, but they don't know for sure.
Good morning.
I think it's a possibility.
All right, you can please take the stand, Officer Frolish. I will remind you that you do remain under the obligations of the oath that you took when you first entered the witness stand yesterday. Okay, you may be seated. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's possible, but maybe not probable.
Counsel, if you'd like to note for the record the introduction of an exhibit as a full exhibit so that we all know that it's in its full at this point in time.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good
thank
morning,
you,
Lieutenant
Vinny.
Frolish. Good morning. I'll remind you again, just please keep your voice up so that that mic can get your voice out across this courtroom.
Okay.
Okay. You will recall yesterday, before we interrupted your testimony, that I had asked you about the return of Mr. Morales to 105 First Ave after the statement that he had given at Ansonia PD. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And do you recall I asked you, had Mr. Morales, prior to being returned to 105 Fifth Street, had he been advised of the death of Christine Holloway?
No.
And when you returned to 105 First Avenue, I believe your testimony was yesterday that Mr. Morales remained in the car while footwear was retrieved for him.
That's correct.
And at some point in time, was he brought into the house?
Yes. We brought the footwear out to him and he walked into the house with us.
Okay. Now, when you entered into 105 First Avenue at that point in time, who was there amongst the Ansonia police officers?
So there's Detective Adcox, myself, obviously, Officer Castillo, and Sergeant Barrera were all present.
And in accordance with applicable Ansonia PD policy, were the officers equipped with body-worn camera?
Yes.
And were they running at that point in time?
Hey, Kelly.
Yes.
Prior to coming into court today, I want to show you states 179 as a full exhibit. And you had an opportunity to review this disc prior to coming into court today.
Yes, I did.
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what is contained on states 179?
This is a body-worn camera video from Detective Adcox's camera.
And the videos that you saw on this desk, were they complete? Was it the complete time that you were at 105 Fifth Street?
So the video that I
First Ave, I'm sorry, 105 First Avenue.
so the video I watched, it was a segmented video. It had multiple sections that were cut out, and there may be some stuff that was muted. So it was condensed into a smaller version. It was not the whole recording of our time at 105 First Avenue.
Okay. Did you make any of those edits?
Yes,
Okay. With the assistance of the state's attorney's office in editing the video.
correct.
Okay. With regard to that, now, what was left on this disc,
Me
was
too.
this a fair and accurate representation of at least what is represented in the segments that are on this body-worn camera?
Yes, whatever's on that video that I watched is the same, exactly what happened during our interactions with the family at 105 First Avenue.
Except for the fact that it's fragmented.
Yes,
And sometimes muted.
correct.
Okay. I'm going to offer states 179 as a full exhibit, Your Honor.
Same objection, Your Honor.
All right, I understand. Court is going to go ahead and accept into evidence states, is it 179 you said, I'm sorry?
179, Your Honor.
179 is a full exhibit. Thank you.
Now, with regard to this exhibit 179, Detective Frolish, does this cover a point in time where Mr. Morales, in the presence of some family members, is advised of the death of Christine Holloway?
That's correct.
And does it capture fragments of a period of time following that notification?
Yes.
All right, counsel, before we publish that, I would like to address the jury. So members of the jury, the exhibit that is about to be published has been accepted into evidence as a redacted version of the original. You must not speculate as to why the information was redacted or what was redacted. Redacted information is not evidence, and as indicated earlier in my initial instructions to you, you may not go outside the evidence introduced in court to find the facts. This means you may not resort to guesswork, conjecture, or speculation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to also give you a further instruction regarding the contents of this video. During this video, you will hear witnesses other than Jose Morales make statements to the defendant or other persons, or making exclamations. Those statements are not being offered for the truth of the matter, but rather for the effect of those statements and exclamations on the defendant. So you are not to consider those statements for the truth of the words spoken. You may consider the words only for the reasons they are offered, and that is to explain what Jose Morales did after hearing the words spoken. Okay. With that, I'll allow you to go ahead and play the video.
We know where Christine is.
You know what Christine is?
Yes.
Oh, you got that?
Yes.
Well, you want to move the baby?
Christine's.
We said it. I'm sorry. Before you do that, can you identify for us, Lieutenant, who are the people that we're seeing in this screen shot?
So that's me standing in the middle right of the screen, Lieutenant Frolish. To the right, as we're looking at it, of me is Sergeant Pereira, and to the left of me is Jose Morales' mother, Lydia.
And can you tell us where it stopped? It's not readily apparent, but where is Mr. Morales in this video?
So Mr. Morales would be sitting probably right underneath where Sergeant Pereira is on the couch. So not on that couch there that he's standing next to, but there's another couch that runs from him towards the camera.
So will it be the bottom right-hand corner of the TV as we're looking at it?
Yes, I think that is in the bottom right-hand corner is Lydia's husband. And then on the other side of him is Jose.
Okay, thank you.
We know where Christine is. Yes. Yes. Christine's dead. We're looking for her. There's something there's shining a light on our situation that we're working with right now. We're investigating, so I'll let you know this. It's a homicide. We are looking for all the help we can get.
Oh my God.
She's at her apartment. But we can't find the car that he says she's always driving. But we know where the car is that you say she's driving. They know what? Yeah. What's that? When I asked you about her buying a new car, you said you knew nothing about it. I know about it. Well, why did you say you didn't know anything about it? I know about it. She wanted a car. She wanted a car. Oh, I did. No, that way you want to say. Okay, we also just took your car. The car is gone? Yep. I don't know. My car didn't come up with an idea. What you want me to think? What you want me to say? Just invent a situation? I don't know. What were you doing? Why don't you tell us the story if you want to say something to your mother? I don't know how you got it. You wasn't in that house one day? I don't know. Why do you don't know? You wasn't there. Where you were there? I was at. How does he not know where he was yesterday? I would say it's not even 24 hours later. How does he not know that? I say I was at work. You weren't because you were leaving the house at 1:49. We have no video leaving the house, and we also have witness saying he was there. Today? Monday.
I'm sorry, but I'm like, why are the police telling his parents? Like, I'm gonna tell your parents on you because you did this bad thing. Like, they just had him at the police station and didn't tell him there. They wait till he gets home with his parents and tell them so they can upset them too. I mean, did you just hear her crying and screaming? What? I don't like these cops for this. Yep.
That's what you guys asked for. I mean, you can do whatever you want. There's nothing that I can tell you. I don't know. What information you want? Obviously, something did happen. Were they in a serious relationship? Were they in a serious relationship? What he said. Oh, it wasn't a serious relationship. But they were dating them. So he's gonna say you were. I was on Monday. I was with him on Monday. The weekend on Monday. Well, you just said you were with Hector on Monday. You said I don't remember. I was with Hector the weekend. Why on Monday? They asked me on Monday. Listen, you don't have to use it. You can do what you want. But you are putting up a lot of walls. It's not a lot of walls. They might break it, but still, I'm like clear by the express. Okay, I can understand that. Your last question, right? Yeah.
that. We can keep that close by. I'm going to use that.
Turning 179 over to Attorney Caput.
All right, thank you.
Now, Lieutenant Frolish, the video ended. I'm showing the jury 176, which is a full exhibit. There was a discussion regarding an iPad as the 179 came to conclusion. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Showing you what has been marked 176 as a full exhibit. Do you recognize what this is?
Yes, it's the blue iPad that was given to us by Lydia.
So following where that video cut off, first of all, did Lydia De Jesus bring this iPad to you?
So I, during that interaction, I asked where the iPad was, and she said it was downstairs. And we went downstairs, and she handed it to us.
There and after, ultimately, was there a search and seizure warrant that was granted and executed for 105 First Avenue in New Haven?
Yes, there was.
And was this iPad, among
Really?
other things,
Lola?
that was
That's
seized
interesting.
from 105 First Avenue pursuant to that search and seizure warrant?
Yes, it was.
Can you just tell me what exhibit?
176.
Thank you very much.
I have nothing further.
Thank you.
Attorney Gavin.
Sure.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
How are we doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
Great. Lieutenant, I think it's just easier if we go back to the video that was previously marked as State's Exhibit 179. And I want to just take you through that while it's fresh in everyone's recollection.
Yeah.
Hey, Teresa, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I would think all juries are allowed to ask questions, but I haven't heard it be specifically mentioned, so I'm not sure.
No problem.
Okay.
We know where Christine is.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just going to stop and go. All right. Lieutenant, this is a full exhibit, and obviously you're standing in the middle of the room.
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yep.
And just so we are oriented, this was Tuesday, December 3rd, correct?
Yes.
And this would have been after Mr. Morales had voluntarily gone to the Ansonia Police Department earlier in the morning. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. And that's when he was interviewed by you and Detective Adcox, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. And that's when we saw Brian Hart come in on the video and take his clothing and his cell phones at that time.
I don't know if he took his cell phones, but I know he was removing the clothing from Jose Morales.
Okay. And if you don't recall the cell phones, that's okay. He was already testified, but you recall being there and Mr. Morales's clothes, his
Thank
shirts,
you,
his
Andy.
pants, his socks
Probably.
and such were put in
Hannah.
evidence bags, correct?
That is correct.
Right. And just back then in 2019, I think your title was actually Detective Sergeant. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right. And the other brother and sister officers from the Ansonia Police Department, and some of them will be on the video, they were reporting to you as the supervisor of the Detective Bureau,
That's correct.
right? Everything sort of ran through you, correct?
Well, it ran through me and then it ran up above me.
Sure. I mean, it could go all the way up to the chief of police, correct? But
Well, in this type of case, it's, this is a serious case where there's all hands on deck and
all hands on board.
yeah.
Yeah. But in regard, just so we're clear, you were a detective sergeant. The other individuals that were identified as detectives would have reported to you as the detective sergeant.
Yes, I was the ranking officer there. Correct.
Ranking officer.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Okay. And we'll just keep this before we start playing. So you see the woman in the bottom left-hand quadrant there?
Yes.
That's Lydia De Jesus, correct?
Yes.
Right? That's Mr. Morales's mom,
Correct.
right? Okay. And I want you to tell us What efforts and interactions did you have with his mother during the course of the investigation regarding the homicide of Christine Howley?
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Sure. You met with her multiple times, did you not?
I met with her, I think, once prior to this interaction.
I want to ask you about the entire investigation
Mhm.
period.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
You met with Ms. DeJesus on that night on December 3rd,
Correct.
right? I mean, you're there and she's there.
Correct.
And I want you to tell us, what other times did you meet with Lydia DeJesus in regard to the investigation of the death of Christine Howley?
I think I recall we met maybe one or two other times to talk about where Vanessa may have been and if she had any information. I've also talked to her maybe over the phone a few times.
Okay, what was that about if you talked to her over the phone?
I think it was.
I'm going to object to anything that goes to hearsay, Your Honor. What he asked is fine, but with regard to any answers, would be hearsay.
Okay, sustained with respect to statements that other people made, out of court statements.
I'm offering it for the effect that those statements had on the investigators, not for the truth of the matter asserted therein, so it falls within the hearsay exception.
Again, Your Honor, I think that information about if it's not being offered for the truth, then simply saying that based upon what you were told, what, if anything, did you do next?
Okay. I'm going to ask the jury to step out for a moment. And then thank you. You may be seated. All right. The reason why the court asked the jury to step out is because I think we are treading water here relative to a few things. One is the court's prior ruling regarding Vanessa Morales. I already heard that part of the reason for the conversation was to locate the missing child, Vanessa Morales. I want to make sure that we don't continue to bring this stuff up in our cross-examination because it was the defense that asked for that information to be precluded from this particular trial and to try to separate this as best we could. The second is that, and I didn't want to do all of this in front of the jury, the second is that we are assuming that the response is going to include hearsay, and we continue to do that. And lastly, if we're going to use an exception, we have to lay the proper foundation, and we have to make sure that we understand that the witness did rely on it or that it did have an effect on the witness. So I bring all of those things to your attention so that we don't have to reiterate this again moving forward, so I don't have to keep asking the jury to step out. I would like at this point in time to make sure that everyone understands how this court is trying to keep Vanessa Morales out of this particular trial solely at the request, of course, of the defense. So Attorney Gavin, it's difficult to do that when your cross-examination questions are forcing the witnesses into responding honestly, and that part of the reasoning for what they're doing in their conduct has to do with locating Vanessa, who is still missing at the time of this investigation. So I just want to raise that.
May I expand on that as well? I am well aware of this investigation and what Lieutenant Frolish's testimony is going to be, and I believe a vast majority, if not all, of what he's going to be talking about was in furtherance of locating Vanessa. I believe that the investigation at some point in time turned well beyond the homicide at hand and went into trying to track down Vanessa.
And prior to asking questions about conversations or statements that have been made out of court, which are clearly hearsay, unless, of course, you're not offering them for the truth of the matter, I just want to make sure counsel lays the proper foundation so that I don't have to keep exiting the jury.
Hey,
So,
Rhonda,
I'm
thanks.
going to bring the jury back in and allow everyone to do that, and I'll address the hearsay issue at that time. Attorney Gavin.
Your Honor, thank you. I have no intention of going into the Vanessa investigation. In fact, the way I couched the question was in regard to our previous discussions when I asked him about information that was involved in the investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway. I'm not inviting any discussion regarding looking for Vanessa Morales. Just while the jury's out, I intend on asking the supervisory detective in regard to information that he received, which we're going to see shortly on the video, regarding Hector Rodriguez, what steps were taken during that investigation in consequence to the investigation of the death of Christine Holloway, and then potentially into the information that Detective Sergeant at that time and now Lieutenant Frolish received regarding PCP use, all directed towards the investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway.
Right, counsel, I understand.
She
that,
did
but
say as of the time of this, the body cam, or at the time of this incident, the child was missing. So maybe they have found her. I don't know.
the evidence comes in, the foundation has to be laid, and I want you to be pretty specific about it, keeping in mind the Vanessa portion of it, because these officers were working simultaneously on trying to locate a missing child. And relevant to the effect on the listener, just make sure the foundation is laid, obviously, before we discuss the contents of any conversation. So if some conduct is taken or there's furtherance of an investigation, let's get that on the record first so we don't have to keep doing this.
That would be
And, okay.
sure. Thank you.
All right. So why don't we bring the jury back in? So we're going to withdraw the last question, Attorney Gavin, and I'll allow you to go ahead and continue your cross-examination.
Mhm.
You may be seated. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, welcome back. Counsel, please stipulate to the return of our jurors.
Stipulate, Your
All right, so to the extent an objection was made, I believe you wanted to withdraw your question. Okay, so the question's withdrawn, no ruling on this, on the objection. Attorney Gavin, you may proceed.
Thank you.
Thank
Lieutenant Frolish, I'm going to ask you a series of questions regarding the investigation into the death of Christine Holloway. That is the scope of my questions regarding the
Hey,
Pennsylvania
Billis.
Police Department and your efforts in regard to the investigation of the death of Christine Holloway. Okay?
Okay,
So we're on the same page there.
I will try my best to answer.
Okay, I'm sure you will. Thank you. So we left off, you see Lydia DeJesus, Mr. Morales' mom, in the video, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sir, and again, this is the last time I'm going to do it. In regard to the investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway, what interaction did you or the members of the Ansonia Police Department have with Lydia DeJesus?
So the only interaction I can remember is a phone conversation.
Okay, when you tell us a phone conversation, when was that? Just for,
I don't remember the date or the time of when it occurred.
was it before this?
I don't recall when. It was after this interaction.
Yeah, okay, that's, we'll start off there.
Mhm.
So we know that this is Tuesday, December the 3rd, early in the morning hours, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you have a recollection, again, in regard to the investigation, the death of Christine Holloway, that you had other interaction with Lydia DeJesus, correct?
Over the phone.
Over the phone, okay. Did you attend any of the interviews with Jose Morales and his mother at the correctional facility regarding the investigation into the death of Christine Holloway?
I may have.
Okay, and tell us what that was about.
I don't recall. Do you have something to refresh my memory, a report or something? I don't.
I'll get
Okay.
that to you, but do you recall as part of the investigation into the death of Christine Holloway that his mother went up to the correctional facility to talk to him?
Correct. Yes, she did.
Okay, and that was recorded, correct?
I did not do a report on that.
Okay. I'm not asking you whether you did a
Okay.
report, but when Lydia DeJesus went up to go see her son at the correctional institution, that was in accordance with the Ansonia Police Department and the investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway.
Yes.
Okay, and that interview was recorded, was it not?
So I would like you to re-ask that other question you just asked me.
Sure. When
Hey, Kathy, I'm Miss King.
the Ansonia Police Department sent Lydia DeJesus in to speak with her son,
Yep.
that was recorded. That's the only question I have for you.
It was recorded.
Okay, great. And that was used for investigative purposes, is that correct? That's a yes or no?
Yes, I'm trying. Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
okay. That's fine. Okay, so you have a recollection of his mom going up to the correctional facility and that being recorded, and certainly you had interaction with her here on the morning of Tuesday, December 3rd
Yes, I
at
did.
105 First Avenue.
Yep.
Okay, and as you sit here, you don't have any other recollection of interaction with Ms. DeJesus regarding the investigation into the death of Christine Holloway?
I had a phone call with her. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. But as you sit here, and I know it's 5 years later, I get it, I understand. You don't recall when you had that phone call?
I do not.
Okay.
No.
That's fine.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. If we can go forward with the video, please.
Yes. Yes. Christine's dead. What happened to her? We're looking for her. Go with it. Go with it. No. We're looking for your son to shine the light on our situation. We're working with you. We're investigating. So I'll let you know this. It's a homicide.
Sir, if you can, you see the gentleman in the lower left-hand side of the screen?
Yeah. Lower left-hand side.
As we look at it on the lower left-hand side, do you see Mark?
So I would take that as Jose's stepfather. Okay.
Okay, just if you can, do you know who Marcos Garcia is?
Yes,
Who is that?
that's Jose's stepfather.
Is that him depicted over with his wife in the left-hand side of the video?
Yeah, she's the one hugging. Yeah, he's hugging his wife.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's standing up and Lydia DeJesus is sitting down.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're fine. Okay, thank you. And if you can, at this frame, after Mr. Marcos Garcia goes over to his wife and you see her hand around, where is Mr. Jose Morales in this frame?
He's in the lower right.
Okay, with his hands around his face?
Yes.
Now, at the point that this occurred, where you indicated to Miss Lydia DeJesus and Mr. Marcos Garcia that Christine Holloway was deceased, had you previously advised Mr. Morales of that fact?
I did not.
Right. He's hearing this contemporaneous with his mom and his dad that Christine is found deceased. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
We are looking for all the help we can get. She's at her apartment.
Your Honor, this is not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted therein. Do you recall another voice that just answered and said, "in the apartment"?
Yes, sir.
Was that Detective Adcox?
That is correct.
Okay, and he was there, though he's not on the screen from the video, from the body camera, correct?
That is his body camera that we're watching.
Right, because it's his, so
Yep.
he wouldn't be depicted in there.
Correct.
Okay, and the body cameras are on the body of an officer looking forward and they go ahead and report. Body cams.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So we can't find the car that he says she's always driving. But we know where the cars that you say she's driving. They know what? Yeah.
Okay, Lieutenant, so in that clip, were you addressing Mr. Garcia?
I was addressing the whole family.
Oh, okay, and you were talking about Christine Holloway's car, were you not?
Yes.
Oh, okay, and you indicated, I thought you indicated, we'll replay it, that you were directing this towards Mr. Garcia because you knew where Christine Holloway's car was.
So I may have been facing them, but that the interaction was for the whole family.
Okay, when you were referring to where you told us where the car was, who were you referring to?
Oh, maybe then him. I'll have to replay it.
Could we go back 10 seconds, please?
Just the slider.
So we can't find the car that he says she's always driving. But we know where the cars that you say she's driving. They know what?
So I was addressing both of them.
Oh, you were addressing Mr. Garcia and Lydia De Jesus.
Correct.
Okay, and you notating your conversation there that they had told you something about the car. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you knew what kind of car it was at that point, correct?
Which car?
That Christine Holloway had purchased.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
What's up? When I asked you about her buying a new car, you said you knew nothing about it. Well, why did you say you didn't know anything about it? She wanted a car. She wanted a car. Oh, they did. Oh, is that what you want to say? Jose, we also just took your car. The car is gone? Yep. I don't know.
Just so we're clear, you were referring in the colloquy there that you had taken Mr. Morales's Nissan Sentra at that point, correct?
Yes.
Right, and there was previous testimony, just see if this is consistent with your recollection, that the Holloway vehicle and the Morales vehicle would have been towed up to Truby Barracks in Bethany. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. I don't believe, I'll ask you, you didn't go to Truby and Bethany to go through the examination of the vehicles.
I was not there.
Okay.
Correct.
But would you agree with me on Tuesday, December 3rd, early in the morning, that the Holloway vehicle and the Morales vehicle were located outside, excuse me, withdrawn, poorly worded. Would you agree with me that when you appeared at 105 First Avenue on Tuesday morning in this video, that the Morales vehicle was parked outside of the residence?
The Nissan Sentra was parked out of 105 First Avenue. Yes, it was parked there.
And that would have been seized for evidentiary purposes. Is that correct?
Yes, we did seize the vehicle.
Yeah,
Correct.
and that's what you just told them, Jose. We just took your car.
Yes, that's what I advised him, that we just took his car.
Right, referring to the Nissan Sentra.
To Jose Morales's Nissan Sentra, we did seize it outside his house
Okay.
the morning of 12/3.
And that's what you just advised them on.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
But why did they come up with an idea? What you want me to think? What you want me to say? Just invent a situation. I don't know. What were you doing? Have to break the door right there. Get in. You break the door and get in. Why don't you tell us the story if you want to say something? I don't know how you got it. You want me at house all day? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You wasn't there. When you were there? I was out. When? How was he out?
Okay. Now, only in regard to the investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway, do you know who he was referring to as Hector?
At that point in time, no.
Okay. subsequent to this, did you or your investigators find out who he was referring to as Hector? Was that Hector Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay. And what efforts did the Ansonia Police Department take in regard to interviewing Hector Rodriguez as a consequence of the investigation regarding the death of Christine Howell?
We interviewed him multiple times. I was not the one doing the interview, though.
Okay. But those investigators would have reported to you, correct?
I would say more than likely, but we had a lot of information that was coming in. So there was myself and Lieutenant Williams and maybe even Lieutenant Lynch that were involved in gathering information from everybody.
Sure. Okay. Sir, are you aware of the fact that Mr. Rodriguez was interviewed on December 5th, 2019, which would have been Thursday, 2 days after this video?
That sounds correct. I don't know the exact date.
Okay. And do you recall that it also, investigators also went back on 12/16, which was a Monday, and subsequently interviewed Mr. Hector Rodriguez?
I know we interviewed him multiple times, so I don't know the exact dates of the interviews for.
To be fair for you, you didn't do the interviews, but you're aware that they occurred.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Chelsea.
I don't know where he was yesterday. It's not even 24 hours later. How does he not know that? I say I was at work. No, you weren't because you were leaving the house at 1:49. We have him on video leaving the house, and we also.
You are not being truthful when you advised the family that you had Mr. Morales on video leaving the house. Is that correct?
I don't recall at that point in time. We do have video of his vehicle leaving the house.
No. The question, sir, is you just represented there that the police had video of Mr. Morales leaving the house, not his vehicle, Mr. Morales leaving and there is no video of Mr. Morales leaving the house. Is that correct?
I would say that Mr. Morales walking out of the house or driving away from the house is the same, is one and the same.
Sir, you tell us here. Is there a video showing Mr. Morales leaving the residence at 105 First Avenue, leaving 6.5 Myrtle Avenue in Ansonia on the morning?
Technically, he's right.
Monday, the 1st.
There's a video of Jose Morales' vehicle leaving the 6.5 Myrtle Avenue.
The question is, I'm not asking about the vehicle. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just asking you, is there a video that you just represented to the family showing Jose Morales leaving the residence at 6.5 Myrtle Avenue in Ansonia?
If you're asking me if there is a video of him walking out of the house.
Yes, that's the question.
That's what you're asking me?
Yeah.
There is not a video of Jose Morales walking out of the house.
Okay. That's what you had represented to, correct?
No, that's represented that he was leaving the house. I didn't represent that he was walking out of the house.
Hey, bad girl.
Okay. Do you have a video of him leaving the house?
I have a video of his vehicle leaving the house.
I get that.
Mhm.
I understand. You understand the difference between the vehicle and Mr. Morales?
I think it's argumentative at this point.
I'm just trying to get a straight answer. You can answer it. Two different things. One's a video of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And one's a video of him walking out of the house or leaving the house.
But we don't have that. We don't have him walking out of the house. I've said that.
That's the only point. You don't
Yeah,
have a
Josh.
video of Mr. Morales walking out of the address at 6.5 Myrtle Avenue, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
He was there. Monday. Something I can come up with ideas and give you information that I don't know. That's why you guys ask. No. I mean, you can do whatever you want. There's nothing that I can tell you that I don't know. What information will work? How is it something did happen? Were they in a serious relationship? He said it. Oh, it wasn't a serious relationship. If they were dating, so he's gonna say you were. I was at his house. On Monday. I was with him. On Monday. The said you were with Hector.
I may have cut that off just a little bit early. I apologize, and I'll proceed to the next couple of frames. But this discussion here is in regard to Jose Morales' location over the weekend, and he's indicating that he was with Hector Rodriguez. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And by the way, I think at one point in the video, you indicated that he was free to leave if he wanted to. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You said, I don't remember. I was with Hector the weekend. The weekend. Why on Monday? Listen, you don't have to answer. You can do whatever you want. You can leave. But I'm here. And you are putting up a lot of balls. It's not that I don't want. Yeah, it's my brain is messed up. I'm not clear what this person. Okay.
I believe the way he said, Gracie, good to see you. I believe the way he said, I don't know. I think that he's legit and he did black out, but the way he was like, the weekend, that's playing semantics.
I can understand that. You have a lot of stress in your life? Yeah, I have no job. Okay, so I'm broke. I live with my parents. And you got 3 kids, you're trying to support the 3 kids. I can't. Yes, and that's not easy. That's not easy. Yeah, and you should be the one supporting your parents, but you can't right now. That's how hard it is. And you just lost your job a few months ago. I understand all that. You know, that puts people in the wrong set, the wrong mindset. All right. No, it does. Sometimes you don't think clearly about things, right? You know. No, my FaceTime you from Hector House makes you believe that I was with her. Did you see how many? Did you see?
Sir, this segment of the video, Mr. Morales is indicating that he FaceTimed his mother from Hector Rodriguez's. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anything in the back when you saw my face on FaceTime, I was making you believe that I was at Christine, but because I didn't want you to think that I'm out with my friend party. So what were you FaceTiming with? What phone were you FaceTiming with? With Hector's. You have your phone? Yeah. All right, so then you should have Hector's contact. No. You should have Hector's contact. No. The FaceTimer with the iPad here.
So Mr. Morales indicates in the living room that he was FaceTiming his mother, not from his cell phone, but from the iPad, which was introduced as an exhibit here, correct?
He initially indicated that he was FaceTiming from Hector's cell phone.
Yeah.
And then when I challenged him on it, he changed his mind and said that he was using Isaac's iPad.
Right. And
his iPad.
And you see is the iPad, right? That's an exhibit. I think it's 180, I think.
176.
Yeah.
Yes, we seized the iPad under a search warrant.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fine. Thank you, Joseph.
Downstairs. Well, how was he? So he was FaceTiming from the house here? No, he didn't. But that's not Hector's number. No. I was FaceTiming my mom. With that girl, you said? No. I was with my iPad. My iPad.
Thank you for your assistance. Your Honor, I'm about to go into a whole new area. I don't know if we're going to take a break.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just asking, I'm about to go into a whole new area. I don't know if we want to take the morning break now or you want me to continue, whatever's good for you.
I think it's okay to take the break if this is a good time to do that. All right, court's going to take the mandatory 15-minute break for staff. Court's going to stand in recess. Thank you.
Okay, we'll stay for 15 minutes, but she's probably going to go straight to fucking lunch, if I had to guess. So, I mean, I don't even know why we need a 15-minute break when she was so damn late already. Lord have mercy. All right, let me pull this up. Yeah, she said 15 minutes. So we shall see. If it takes longer than 15 minutes, we'll break for lunch and come back. I don't know. She's probably going to be freaking. It's ridiculous. Stern's trial date of the 23rd is still a go. PCP occasionally found in tablets sold as MDMA. Prices for PCP range from 5 to 15 per tablet, 20 to 30 for 1 gram of powder, 200 to 300 for 1 ounce of liquid, or dippers sells for 10 to 20. Wow. Okay, what can we watch? Let's see. We can look at some Brian Koberger highlights about what happened with that, or Lori Daybell. If y'all like one more than the other, let me know. We'll go to Lori Daybell highlights. Okay. Died spicy bullets. Hold on, let me see how old this is. From 1 day ago. 9 spicy moments.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Don't flatter yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you.
Lori Vallow Daybell getting personal as she defends herself in her trial for the conspiracy to murder Charles Vallow.
And were we eating my green chili chicken enchiladas?
Do not remember that.
You do not remember that?
Nope.
Then Lori comes face to face with Charles Vallow's sister, Kay Woodcock.
Ooh.
Did you see or hear or personally witness me conspire with Alex Cox to kill my husband, Charles Vallow?
No, but I saw a ton of evidence that did.
I take a look at the biggest moments from the first week of the trial.
Yeah, there's green chili.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. The first week of Lori Vallow Daybell's trial has ended, and with her representing herself, there were some fireworks. Lori is charged with conspiring with her late brother, Alex Cox, to murder Charles Vallow, her late husband, in July 2019 at her home in Phoenix. Trina Kay, the prosecutor representing the state from Maricopa County, laid out the case against Lori and how she believes Lori and her brother, Alex Cox, used religion to justify what they did.
You will learn that in November of 2018, that Chad Daybell came to Arizona for a Preparing the People conference. And he and others stayed at Lori and Chad's house. Charles was actually out of town with JJ. Lori and Chad acted as if there was nothing between them, but nothing could be further from the truth. By January of 2019, Lori Vallow claimed that Charles Vallow was possessed by an evil spirit that she called Ned. You will see text messages where Lori and Alex refer to him as Ned. Lori, Chad, and Alex used religion, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and a story of Nephi, a prophet, who was directed by the Holy Spirit to kill Laban, to obtain brass plates and secure the long-term prosperity of Nephi's descendants. Lori used this religion and the story of Nephi as justification to kill Charles Vallow, just like Nephi killed Laban.
Then it was time for Lori to give her opening, and remember, she's representing herself.
Evidence will show that Tylee was 3 years old when Charles and I got married, and that when she became a teenager, the relationship between Tylee and her stepfather, Charles, became so difficult that Tylee and Charles had to seek a therapist, a family therapist, to stop them from fighting. The evidence will show that together, Charles and Tylee met with this therapist after we moved back to the mainland in 2017. The evidence will show that in April of 2018, Tylee's biological father passed away from a heart attack. And at that time, Charles called Social Security and made an appointment at the Social Security
I'm
office.
going to object to hearsay.
Sustained.
It will show that we did get Social Security for Tylee for her deceased father until she was 18 years old, and she was 15 years old at the time. The evidence will show
Right.
that Charles and Tylee's fighting increased greatly in January of 2019 when Charles and I temporarily separated. The evidence will show that several people witnessed these terrible arguments between Tylee and Charles that increased to physical in 2019.
Knowing as much as you can about the people that you let into your life can be very valuable. And that's why having something like truthfinder.com available can be so important. Truthfinder is one of the largest. Truthfinder.com/LC Crime Fix. Log on and start accessing information about almost anyone. Then Lori laid out for the jury what she says happened the morning that Alex shot Charles.
Evidence will show that Charles began to scream at me when I refused to hand him his phone. The evidence will show that Charles screaming woke up Tylee and Alex. The evidence will show that Tylee came out of her room with a bat to protect me, her mother, from her stepfather, Charles Vallow. The evidence will show that Tylee and Charles fought over the bat, and that after a struggle over the bat, Tylee fell onto the ground, and Charles lifted up the bat to hit Tylee with the bat. The evidence will show that Alex then intervened to protect Tylee from being hit with the bat. He did not have a gun. He was not wearing a shirt. He was pulling up his jeans because he just woke up and came into the room where he heard the screaming. The evidence will show that Alex and Charles got into a physical struggle for the bat and fell onto the ground. The evidence will show that Tylee, who was on the ground, was lifted up by me and sent outside to get away from the struggle and to protect JJ, who was still in the running car, in the rental car in the driveway. The evidence will show that after this struggle on the ground between Charles and Alex, that Charles prevailed with the bat and began to come towards me with the bat as I ran away from him into the kitchen. The evidence will show that at some point while I was running away from Charles, who was chasing me with the bat, that Alex apparently retrieved his gun.
Mandy, it is the worst mistake that you could ever make to be your own attorney, because you're basically spitting in the attorney, the district attorney, the judges, and if you have attorneys backing you up, you're spitting in all of their faces by saying that you could come in off the street and do exactly what they do, that they went to years of school for, and you can do it just as good as they can. It's spitting in their face.
The evidence will show that I ran outside to the children and that Alex shot Charles in self-defense. The evidence will show you that I am the only person being charged with this crime.
Right.
I would object to the relevance of that.
Sustained.
As the state has mentioned, they are alleging that insurance money was my motive. Social Security was my motive. Spouses having insurance policies is not a crime. Collecting Social Security is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. A family tragedy is not a crime.
It is.
It's a tragedy.
Now, a number of police officers testified, including those who first encountered Lori and Tylee at the crime scene.
Gotcha. How long have you guys lived here?
Sorry?
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors took us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi neighbor, sorry.
Are you
Not
working
that I'm
at all?
aware of.
No.
Okay. And you're still about 5'6", 20?
Did you also get biographical information from teenager?
I did.
Was that Tylee
I
Ryan?
agree.
It was.
Let's stop it now. After you had talked with Alex Cox and Lori Vallow, Did you go brief some of the detectives about what you had learned?
I did.
Did you tell the detectives that Lori Vallow did not know that her husband Charles was dead?
Yeah.
I told them that I did not advise her of such.
Okay. Did you believe that she did not know that her husband was dead?
I did.
Why did you believe that?
Well, I was under the understanding that this just happened. She just arrived back on scene, and I did not advise her of what happened in the house.
When you spoke with Alex Cox, did he provide additional information that made you believe that she was not present when the shooting happened?
Yes.
Wow.
Now remember, Lori is representing herself. She was a hairdresser. She's not a lawyer. So there have been some moments during week 1 that you don't usually see in court.
I'm trying to understand, Your Honor. So what the witness observed is not relevant?
I didn't say that. Let's do a sidebar.
Okay, I would love that.
At one point, Judge Boreski told Lori to quit offering comments at the end of testimony, like this.
Firefighter Kaczynski.
Okay, Kaczynski, that's one I didn't have.
Possible depending on the person.
Okay, that's fair.
So we work in tandem together. We're the investigative body and they're the scientific portion of it.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
Makes sense.
Push them to shoot till the threat went away. And that can be with one shot. It can be with more than one shot.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, Detective Daniel Coons testified that the evidence he found at the scene made him believe that Charles Vallow was actually on the floor when Alex Cox shot him a second time. Lori took issue with Coons's findings.
You don't really know what time he was shot, do you?
Actually, no, I don't.
Okay. You don't really know if he was falling back or lying supine on the floor, do you?
Yes, I do.
You don't really know what time my husband actually passed away, do you?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Thank you. No more questions.
But things got really interesting when witnesses with a personal connection to Charles Vallow or Lori testified, including Nancy Jo Hancock, who met Charles on an LDS dating site.
So again, just yes or no, did Charles talk to you about why he was separated from his wife?
Yes.
Based upon your discussions, how long did you think there had been issues going on between Charles and his wife?
For several months, but more intensely since the beginning of that year was 2019. So since the beginning of that year.
You told us that Charles talked to you let me ask you, yes or no, did he talk to you in great detail about his relationship with Lori Vallow?
Yes.
All right, we're going to pause it right there. They're back at court, which is surprising. I mean, most of the time she just goes to lunch. It's what she's been doing. All right, let me pull this back up. We'll come back to that. Abraham said, I believe Tylee was collateral damage. She knew there was no threat and that Lori and brother deliberately unallowed Charles. So Tylee saw JJ was missing. She would go to the police and tell. I believe that. Her level of narcissism is absolutely staggering. I can't believe they're back either. She's probably going to say, we're going to go to lunch. I just called y'all back in the courtroom so we could all go to lunch. They're waiting for the jury to come in. I don't think he's going to get out of this.
Stipulates the return of all jurors. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Attorney Gavin, you may proceed. Thank you.
Hello, Attorney.
We're almost done.
Okay.
Okay. Sir, I just want to follow up in regard to your interaction with Lydia De Jesus and Marcos Garcia. Do you recall going to speak with them on December 18th, 2019 at their home?
If that's a report that I was just looking at, yes.
At the break, I tendered the report. Can I approach?
Yeah.
Just, you use this to refresh your, would it help you refresh your recollection if you saw the report?
Yes, it would, please.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Take your time.
Okay.
Here come the hens. World's largest midget. Oh no.
All set.
Do the best I can. This was not written by me.
Okay, I understand.
Yep.
Can I have to approach and take that back?
Sure.
Does that refresh your recollection regarding the events of December 18th, 2019, sir?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Okay. Well, let's just go slow. Do you
Okay.
recall going to the residence at 105 First Avenue with Detective Stephen Adcox and yourself?
Yes.
Right? And you sat at the kitchen table with Lydia Garcia and also her husband, Lydia De Jesus and Marcos Garcia.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, sir, in regard to your investigation into the death of Christine Holloway, what information did you develop regarding PCP usage by Jose Morales?
I'm going to object at this point, Your Honor. It's going to elicit self-serving hearsay. I'd like to be heard outside the presence of the jury, please.
All right, Court's going to ask our jury to step out. Thank you so much.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Thank you. Attorney Stein.
Yes, Your Honor. May I voir dire Lieutenant Frolish further just to create the foundation?
Well, your objection is based on,
My objection
you
is
saying hearsay?
it's, yes, self-serving hearsay. It is my understanding that the information that Attorney Gavin is about to try to elicit would be based upon Lydia De Jesus having conversations, telephone conversations with her son from jail, where Mr. Morales would have told Mr. Jesus, who is now repeating what Mr. Morales would have said to Lieutenant or Sergeant Frolish at the time, as well as Detective Adcox, is self-serving hearsay.
Okay.
There's no question involving hearsay here. I just asked him what his investigative efforts were involving the use of PCP. And as an officer of the court, I'll represent that his police report indicates that they talked to the parents about Mr. Morales' PCP use. The state is trying to hide the fact that he used PCP, and it's part of the investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway, framed the right way. He's not calling for a hearsay response.
First of all, the state is not looking to keep PCP out. I think the parties all understand it is the expectation of the parties that Mr. Morales intends to testify in this case. The state is just seeking to preclude self-serving hearsay from being put in front of this jury for the truth of the matter asserted without Mr. Morales putting forward relevant evidence, if he chooses to do so, that on this particular time and this particular date, he was doing PCP. What Mr. Morales may have done at any other point earlier in time, whatever time in his life, is not relevant to whether he was doing PCP on or about December the 1st of 2019. So with regard to whatever these people may have told Detective Frolish and whatever follow-up they may have done is not relevant. It's also based upon self-serving hearsay.
I'm not asking him what anyone said. I'm not asking him that. I'm asking him in regard to what his investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway as it related to the use of PCP.
The question was, what information did you elicit regarding PCP usage? That was the
Sorry, Your
question.
Honor.
The question was, what information did you elicit regarding PCP usage?
Elicit from whom?
What information this is from Lydia and Marcos, during the Lydia and Marcos
So that would
interview.
be hearsay, Your Honor. So if Lydia, hypothetically, if Lydia and Marcos, Lydia De Jesus and Marcos Garcia said that Mr. Morales has used PCP amongst other drugs previously in his lifetime, that information, even if they said it, one, it's hearsay, two, it's not relevant in terms of we are not allowing propensity or should not use propensity type evidence to say simply because a person acted one way at an earlier point in time that they have the propensity to act the same way. That clearly is not contemplated by our rules of evidence.
Okay, I don't even know what the response is at this time because you are preemptively objecting. So why don't we do the proffer outside the presence of the jury so I don't call them back in here and get a response that could, in the end, be stricken. So with respect to that question, please ask the question, Attorney Gavin, and let me see what the response is.
And Your Honor,
Yes.
the officers indicated to Lydia De Jesus and Marcos Garcia regarding the past PCP. It wasn't asking them about PCP, so I think the state's got it backwards there. But
Okay, I just want, at this point, I'd like to hear the answer or the proposed response so that we don't go through this again in front of the jury.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to rephrase or repeat the question for you, okay?
Okay.
In regard to your investigation into the death of Christine Holloway, what information did you develop regarding PCP usage by Jose Morales?
I didn't interview anybody that talked to me about PCP usage, or I don't recall interviewing anybody with PCP usage.
Let me ask you, you're the supervisor, and I know that there was a lot of work being done by a lot of different officers, correct? But they all reported to you. You were running the investigation as the detective sergeant.
I was not running it. I was part of running the program. So I myself and Lieutenant Williams were kind of spearheading it together.
I agree. I'm not quarreling with that. But you were aware that your officers were investigating PCP usage by Jose Morales, correct?
We were investigating a homicide and a missing child.
No. Just answer my question, please. I'm not fighting with you. Would you agree with me or not that your brother and sister officers at the Ansonia Police Department, in regard to the investigation revolving the death of Christine Holloway, explored and investigating PCP usage by Jose Morales?
We didn't explore anything. We just followed the case. So we looked for what was occurring, and we had a homicide that we were investigating. So we did interview people, and we did interview other people for the missing person.
I'm not asking about missing purpose. I'm asking about PCP usage, and you're not answering the question. Were you aware, were you not, sir, that part of the investigation involved PCP usage by Jose Morales?
Counselor, I'm not understanding. We're not investigating whether or not he's using PCP. We're investigating whether or not he committed a homicide.
Sir, but
and
during the
missing
course
child.
of your investigation, did you develop information regarding the use of PCP? Yes or no?
PCP did come up in the investigation.
Okay, tell us how it came up in the investigation. That's all.
I did not get the firsthand knowledge of that information.
I'm not asking you that. You're aware of what the investigative efforts were. how was PCP investigated, and what information was compiled as a result of the investigation involving PCP? That's all.
That there, I didn't interview, I did one interview on Jose Morales, and that's all the interview I did. He didn't mention anything about PCP during that interview. I didn't interview anybody else that talked to me that I can call that talked to me about him using PCP.
Sir, I'm not talking about, I'm sorry that we're struggling with this, but I want to be crystal clear. I'm not asking who you interviewed, but you would agree with me that you just told us that PCP usage came up during the course of the investigation, right?
Correct.
Okay, what information came up during the course of the investigation regarding PCP usage?
That it was a possibility of him using PCP.
Okay, and what
I
did
agree,
you do? Did you
Teresa.
go out and interview Hector Rodriguez?
I didn't interview Hector Rodriguez.
Did the Ansonia Police Department go back and interview Hector Rodriguez?
We interviewed Hector Rodriguez because he was the alibi for the weekend of the homicide.
Okay, and did the officers indicate to you when they went out on Thursday, December 5th, when they interviewed him, that he indicated that they were using PCP?
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
When the officers went out to interview Rodriguez on December 5th, after they interviewed him, did they advise you in their report that he indicated that Morales and him were using PCP over the weekend?
Before obviously the court would note that this
Hey, Ann.
would be objectionable. I mean, I'm allowing it for the offer.
I'm
right
just
now.
trying to figure out where we're going with this, counsel.
Right.
Outside the presence of the jury, I'm allowing the proffer.
Okay. Can you repeat the
Sure.
question again, please?
You were aware as the supervisor that your officers went and interviewed Hector Rodriguez, and he indicated that he and Morales had used PCP that weekend.
I don't know if he did that during that interview.
You don't know that Hector Rodriguez indicated to the officers that he had utilized PCP?
Well, you specifically stated a date.
I'm sorry?
You specifically stated a date of the interview,
Okay,
right? So I don't know if that's the interview. He said something
I'll
to it.
withdraw the date.
Okay.
I'll withdraw the date. Is there any doubt that Rodriguez indicated that Jose Morales and him were using PCP?
I don't remember what he actually said, but I know there was some kind of drug conversation between Hector and our officers.
Okay, regarding PCP usage.
Probably, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't have the report in front of me and I'm commenting on something that I didn't do.
Do you recall directing other officers under your supervision to investigate the history of Jose Morales's drug usage with PCP?
We looked into the past history of
Okay.
Jose Morales' criminal history.
Okay.
That wasn't the question.
Okay.
The question was, do you remember directing other officers to look into Jose Morales's past history of PCP?
I can't tell you what I actually directed them to do. So if you're asking me if I definitely that on such and such a day, I told them to go look and see if Jose Morales did PCP somewhere else. The likelihood of me saying that is negative, but me telling them I need you to go find out what you know about Jose Morales, that's 100% would be true.
Let me make this easy for you. I'm not trying to confuse you here. You went on the 18th. Here's the report. You just reviewed it at the break, right? And in the report, you went to his parents and you said, we learned that Jose had a problem with drug use. It's PCP, correct?
I don't know what the report says, but the
Oh, let
report
me-
does mention something about PCP.
May I just approach?
Certainly.
Okay.
Okay. Does that refresh your recollection regarding whether or not you had indicated during the course of the discussions with Mr. Jesus and Mr. Garcia regarding Jose Morales' past PCP use?
All right. So, attorney, to be honest with you, I don't recall this interview because I was not the primary guy. I can read what's written in the report.
Okay. Why don't you
So-
read what's written in the report?
You want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Okay. Was learned was that Jose had a problem with using PCP and that his drug use appeared to get him in trouble with the police.
Okay. Was that discussed with his parents? His PCP use?
The report says it was.
Right. And by the way, who signed off on the report?
I did.
You did, right?
Yep.
Okay. So there's no doubt here that the Ansonia Police Department, as a consequence of their investigation regarding the death of Christine Holloway, went ahead and investigated Jose Morales' PCP use.
We were looking at all assets of the crime.
I know, but you're not answering the question.
But we didn't, we weren't specifically going to look to see if Jose Morales, we weren't arresting him on PCP, we weren't arresting on any drug use.
Okay,
So our,
the question was, you were investigating him relevant to his PCP use at some point in time during this investigation. That calls for a yes or no.
yes.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Your Honor, can I just explore
I'm
just a
sorry.
couple of questions there? Just to-
Counsel, we're going to deal with this on the record. I'm going to allow questions where you can make your objections. I'll make my
I
rulings.
think before the court rules respectfully, I think that further information, because I have case law, which I would like to provide, because I think
Certainly.
that there are missing information. This is a brief that was prepared for this issue, Your Honor. Where Attorney Gavin, for whatever reason, I'm not sure. If the question were to ask, Lieutenant, did you send out an information to other law enforcement agencies asking for any records that they had on Jose Morales?
Yes.
Did you receive police reports back from other law enforcement agencies where Mr. Morales's name was mentioned in police reports?
Yes.
And did some of those police reports, some of them which were decades old, provide information from other police reports where Mr. Morales's name was mentioned as having had an arrest and PCP came up in those reports?
Yes.
So again, Your Honor, I mean, so in terms of what is available to law enforcement is now we're adding another layer of hearsay in terms of the information that's been made available through law enforcement agencies in terms of from now police reports from decade-old police investigations and the relevancy that any of that has as to whether in December of 2019, Jose Morales was on PCP. First, so the state's claim is going to be relevance. I have put forward State versus Hernandez, 91 Con-App 169. I provided a copy of that case to the court as well as to Attorney Gavin. In terms of this type of material going before a jury, in Hernandez, we have information in hospital records that was disallowed on an issue of relevancy from earlier in the same day, because on an earlier occasion that someone may have done a drug does not necessarily mean that on this occasion they did a drug. So to allow this to come in at this point, especially with this many layers of hearsay, to show for purportedly, not for truth, but just to show the effect on the hearer, it is so highly prejudicial. If Mr. Morales is going to put information before this jury regarding PCP usage, if he elects his right to put that information in, then it is subject to cross-examination for its truth at that point. But to allow it any other way is highly prejudicial, because the state can't cross-examine the multiple layers of hearsay that are involved in this.
Attorney Gavin, are we talking about PCP usage that day, that weekend? What are we talking about?
Just whatever. And I'm not asking about.
What is the relevance of that then?
The relevance is that he indicated to the police officers that he had used PCP, that they investigated and confirmed it. And I'm not.
That he had used PCP that weekend. Is
Yes.
that what you're saying? I didn't hear that yet in any
Yes.
part of this cross-examination.
I didn't get there, but I'm not.
Well, I can't, there's no relevance until we get there. So again, we're talking about the proper foundation.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
But I'm not asking him what's in remote police reports. I don't know where the state is coming up with this.
But he is, because that's the basis for knowledge. This is the connection, Your Honor. The information that he's eliciting, meaning when he says in this statement, or rather this report that this man didn't write, that is written by another officer, he signs it as that person's supervisor, where the statement that was that he was asked to refresh himself from was regard to that what was learned was that Jose had a problem using drugs. That statement there that Mr. Gavin wants so desperately in front of this jury is coming from these police reports. That's their only basis of knowledge. To this point in time, Jose Morales has not ever said he's used PCP.
He hasn't testified yet.
Well, I'm saying at the point of where they're asking this witness to go right now, this report is December the 12th. I'm sorry, December 18th is when this incident report is written. Mr. Morales has never said up until this moment in time anything about PCP.
Okay. So, Attorney Gavin, if the knowledge is learned from hearsay, what is your response to that?
It's not hearsay. It's part of the overall investigation.
Well, an overall investigation can contain hearsay. So if a response is based on hearsay, what do you have a response to that claim that it is hearsay? Let's start with that.
The fact that I'm asking him, did the investigation involve investigating the use of PCP is not hearsay. I'm not asking what anyone told me. His report indicates that they went ahead and they had gone back, and he's the supervisor that signed off on the report. He went back and the officers went and conducted an investigation regarding past PCP use.
Okay, Attorney Gavin, the state is indicating that the defendant's past history of PCP use is irrelevant here. What do you have a response to that? What is the relevancy of past PCP use?
The investigation showed past PCP use, which is relevant to Mr. Morales using PCP on Saturday night into Sunday morning. So it is relevant. He can't just out of the blue take the stand and say, oh, by the way, I was using PCP or I used alcohol. This drug use has been corroborated by the investigating supervisor in the past.
Attorney Stein.
Yes, Your Honor. Again, this is propensity evidence, and we know that propensity evidence is not permitted by our rules of evidence with regard to this type of purpose, right? That a person on a previous point in time acted the same way on a subsequent date. Character evidence, propensity evidence, not for this purpose, especially based upon the way that these officers, the multiple layers of hearsay. If Mr. Morales wants to put in his history, that information will go in front of the jury. Potentially, we may have the same argument at that point too, but at least it's subject to cross-examination at that point. Right now, you have intricate layers of hearsay learned from reports that are decades, some of them decades old. And Attorney Gavin is trying to take through some type of a claim that this comes in through the sufficiency of a police investigation, a type of claim, to take what's clearly prejudicial, hearsay, not relevant. And I would point out, much the same way, we had a discussion off the record as to another piece of evidence regarding text messages from 2017, where the court made a ruling with regard to the irrelevancy of text messages from only 2 years before the homicide. We have police reports that contain hearsay decades old for being offered for propensity purposes, and I believe that they are not admissible and should not be admissible for the purpose that Attorney Gavin is trying to offer.
Okay, Attorney Gavin, you did propose it to seem like this was PCP usage taking place during the time of the period in question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the state is now telling me that we're talking about PCP usage, very dated, so historical PCP usage.
Yes, Your Honor.
What would be the relevancy of that?
The state just represented that was the first time that PCP usage had come up. And I will represent, and I'll show the officer, as an officer of the court, that this officer went to Morales's interview at the New Haven Correction Center on December 12th. And if I may, Your Honor, this shows the relevancy, and it's not remote in any way, shape, or form. He was there, they recorded the interview, and Morales was advised that Rodriguez told investigators he and Morales smoked PCP together the weekend. Morales had claimed he was at Rodriguez's house, which is 1129. Morales confirmed that he did smoke dust PCP with Rodriguez. Okay, so he was there. He was there. He went and picked up, and I'll show you the report. You're not in your head that you weren't there. I'll show you the report.
Okay, but Attorney Gavin, so we still have hearsay. We have self-serving hearsay as to Mr. Morales' statement. We have hearsay regarding what Rodriguez stated.
Bad girl. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Bad girl said, just wanted to say thank you for being you, and I love our speculating family. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was over here about to fall asleep. Thank you, bad girl. I appreciate that. That was so sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of y'all too, and I love y'all very much. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Everybody that's been here. That was so sweet. Thank you.
The fact that the officer was there doesn't get you over the hearsay hurdle yet. Okay, I'm not over the hearsay hurdle. First of all, it's a self-serving statement made by the defendant. There's a difference between being offered by the party opponent. So I don't have the admission being offered by the party opponent. I have the defendant trying to enter into evidence through sort of a back door through this witness, the fact that Hector Rodriguez stated something about PCP usage, and then Jose Morales acknowledged that outside of this courtroom. So the defendant does have the opportunity to control his own defense. He has the opportunity to testify or choose not to testify, and we'll get into that at a later time. But right now, I'm dealing with hearsay. So right now, the basis of the response appears to be to the court to be that of a hearsay substance. So a hearsay foundation. So I understand the state's issue with the hearsay. On top of that, the state was indicating that some of these reports that are being referred to, which I'm not privy to because they're not in evidence, go back and they're extremely dated about a prior PCP use back in time, not concerning the time period in question here, which is that weekend.
History other than this weekend, so that cures that.
You're so sweet, my love.
But will it may cure the relevancy issue?
Hey, Bella.
But it certainly doesn't cure the hearsay issue.
The question will continue to be as what did your investigation show regarding PCP usage? That's all. It's not a hearsay question. It's not asking for him to say somebody said this or somebody said that. Regarding the weekend in question, not remote.
But his response, his knowledge is based upon hearsay. That's self-serving hearsay statement and the hearsay of Rodriguez. So unless there's some sort of exception to hearsay, or you're not claiming it for the truth of the matter, and this officer somehow, based on that hearsay, did something else in furtherance of this investigation, then I don't see how you're getting around the hearsay aspect of the state's claims outside of the relevancy, even if you take out the historical nature of the PCPs.
And Your Honor, then it's offered for the effect of the hearing because they continued the investigation regarding the PCP issue.
Okay, that has not been established yet.
Right.
Okay, so without using the term PCP, and you don't have to do this, now, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I haven't heard
either,
anything yet
Badger.
that as a result of this investigation, there was further investigation and that investigation included investigation into PCP use. That hasn't come out yet through this witness. So I don't know if there was any effect on this witness regarding additional investigation into the death of Christine Holloway as a result of those particular statements. I don't know what its effect on this witness was. Attorney Stein?
Yes, and anything further is just going to lead us back into the circle that I've already created. The information that they have gathered, whatever investigatory action they took, was to either obtain reports or to speak to people with regard to this issue. So again, we are circling back.
Okay,
regardless.
counsel, if the
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, if the officers, based on hearsay, conducted additional investigation, there was based on what was determined to be that hearsay, then there is an effect on the listener and it goes to relevant issues in this case. The problem is I haven't heard that yet. So it doesn't go full circle back to your issue.
So, but ultimately, if his testimony is that based upon whatever we heard, we went out and conducted an investigation and obtained police reports or spoke to additional individuals,
okay,
then that would be their statement, but not the contents of what those things are.
Exactly.
Very good.
I'm not asking what other people told.
I understand, but I just want to make sure that I'm clear. We have two issues here that have been raised by the state outside the presence of the jury here, relevancy as well as hearsay, okay? If we get to the relevancy, because we take out any information, Attorney Gavin, that you had originally wanted to allude to regarding prior PCPs, and the questions are formulated that way, then the relevancy issue goes away. If we get there, now we're dealing with knowledge that is based on hearsay, self-serving statements, as well as Hector Rodriguez's statements. There has to be some sort of way for the court to accept that into evidence. You have claimed the effect on the listener. In order for the court to get there, there has to be the proper foundation that this particular witness relied on it, or somehow this witness's conduct or acts in the investigation or whatnot were as the result of or affected by those hearsay statements. And that cannot include additional hearsay statements in that response, which would have to have an independent hearsay exception or claim by you, as you're doing now, that you're not offering it for hearsay, you're not offering it for the truth of the matter.
And the state's claim would also include that based on the question, to put PCP in the question is inputting that hearsay into the question for the purposes of eliciting those responses. So again, this is, if he's going to ask, based upon your conversation with Marcos and Lydia, did you take further investigatory actions? Yes, we obtained police reports or whatever, or spoke to additional people. Then that gets us apparently over this hurdle.
Your Honor, I know it's 5-1. Can I have 1 minute with this officer just to clear this up?
If you'd like a proffer, I will always allow you the opportunity to provide a proffer. Go ahead, Attorney Gavin.
Can I approach the lieutenant, please?
Certainly.
Lieutenant, I'm going to show you what is been identified as a police report dated January 4, 2020, regarding the interview of Morales on 12/12/2019. Is this my copy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
January 4.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And can you just indicate on the second page, it indicates that Detective Sergeant Frolish, that's you, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Detective Trouser, correct?
Yes.
And Stephen Adcox went to the FBI in New Haven,
Yes.
okay, to obtain recording devices, correct?
Yes.
For the interview of Jose Morales on 12/12,
Correct.
right? And then the report indicates that Ansonia Police Department.
Obviously, we're reading from a document that's not evidence.
Right. We
I
won't
understand.
do, obviously, we can't do that.
Just for the property, right?
Go ahead.
And then he indicates the above Ansonia Police Departments, you, Frolish, and Adcox, the above Ansonia Police Department personnel went to the New Haven Correctional Center. you see that?
Yes,
Okay, does that refresh your recollection? Whether
yes,
You went there?
yes.
You did, right?
I wasn't part of the interview.
No, just asking you
Yeah.
whether you went there. So
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
Now, if you could just turn the page for me, okay? And the interview was recorded, correct?
Yes.
And you listened in on the interview as it was occurring?
No,
You did not?
no, I could not.
Why?
It was something wrong with I think it was coming in and out. I don't think it wasn't even working.
That's
Yeah.
fine. So you couldn't hear the interview? Okay. In the report that Detective Adcox authored regarding the interview of 12/12, was that signed off by you, Detective Sergeant James Frolish, as the supervisor?
Yes.
And if you could just read this out loud, starting with I advise.
This is not my report.
This is Adcox's
Yeah.
report.
Yeah. So I, meaning Detective Adcox,
Yes, sir.
advised Morales that we spoke with his friend Hector Rodriguez. Morales advised that Rodriguez told investigators that he and Morales smoked PCP together the weekend that Morales had claimed that he and Rodriguez's house. He was at Rodriguez's house the weekend of 11/29/19.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Morales confirmed that he did smoke PCP with everything. He did smoke PCP with Rodriguez.
Go ahead.
Morales stated
I'm
that.
going to, Your Honor, to continue to read even, I mean.
Okay, so we're not going to be able to read into evidence, obviously, anything from a report, not in evidence. But I still haven't heard a foundation as to how the officer was affected by this hearsay, because this is clearly hearsay and self-serving statement.
The report indicates that Morales confirmed that he did smoke dust PCP with Rodriguez. Do you recall that? In the report?
Well, again,
That's what the report says.
That's what the report says. Okay.
And we're still dealing with self-serving hearsay. So
If I could just finish my
Go ahead.
examination, I'm almost done.
Well, understanding you would not be able to do that in front of a jury because you're reading from a report, not an evidence.
Absolutely agreed. And I would never try to do that. Well, if I may just go back. So you told us that you didn't know anything about PCP usage, but you know now from.
No, I didn't.
Just 1 second. Let me ask the question if you don't mind.
Sure.
I won't step on your answer. Sure. You know now that on December 12th, Detective Adcox and you went to the correctional facility and Morales had admitted that he had used PCP that weekend, correct?
I did go to the corrections facility.
Yep.
And in Detective Adcox's report, he writes that, correct.
Okay, about PCP. Now, here's the $64 question.
Mhm.
What investigative efforts did you or other brothers and sister officers of Ansonia PD take once you learned about the use of PCP?
So, again, I don't know, I don't recall me telling anybody to investigate if he did PCP. We were investigating a homicide and a missing person. So did I tell them, I want you to go find out about PCP? I don't believe I would do that because we're investigating these other two cases. We're not trying to charge them with a crime for PCP. So it's hard.
Relevant to the investigation?
Was it relevant? It came up in the investigation.
That's what we're trying to establish here.
Mhm.
As a consequence of the use of PCP, you went out and interviewed other witnesses like Rodriguez, correct?
We interviewed Rodriguez because he was an alibi for Jose
But
Morales.
there was discussion regarding PCP.
Did
This is
Jose,
argumentative at this point, Your Honor. I think the issues have been clearly established.
All right, we're going to go into break at this point in time. We are encroaching on our lunch hour. I'll see council in chambers. Court stands in recess until 2 p.m.
I knew they were going to do that. They're arguing. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you can say, I mean, I don't understand where he's going with the PCP use. You could say that, yeah, it was brought up because you had the interview with Hector who validated his alibi and said that they were using PCP, but I don't understand the relevance necessarily. I mean, for the defense anyway, for the state, well, I mean, I guess they could say it was a drug-induced homicide. Tom said, that lawyer's throwing buckets of spaghetti against the wall hoping some stick. Yep. He then said, oh, Lord. Genevieve said, being under the influence does not excuse the acts of the crime. It'd be an age-old argument since the beginning of time. Yeah. She sounds annoyed. Just shut it down and say objection sustained. I'm with you. I suppose I got to go make lunch for the childrens. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out. Thank you so much for the support. I suppose we'll start between 2 and 2:15 and see what she says. Yeah, you don't get a free pass because you're high. Absolutely not. Abella said we hear PCP, but the judge hears PCP. Bonnie said, is a drug-induced psychosis a valid reason like temporary insanity? I was wondering that myself. I was like, why didn't we just go with a temporary insanity plea because of the drug-induced psychosis? Yeah, the judge is about to lose her shit. Aw, thank you for being you. Yes, we will see y'all all soon. I love y'all very much. Thank y'all for hanging out. I hope to see y'all back. I guess I'll schedule it for like between 2 and 2:15. Maybe like 2:15 because you know she's going to be late. So I'll schedule it for 2:15 and see y'all back in an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, more like 2:30. You too, love. Have a great day. Thank you guys. See y'all at 2:15.